Today's the day, first day of VidCon. It's about 8:30 in the morning, and my first event that I'm going to is at 11 a.m. It's a speed networking session where it's kind of like speed dating. You get to sit down with a lot of different people and network with them really fast. I went to bed too late last night, probably like 4 in the morning. The import times of all my footage was super slow. I shot over 100 gigs of footage, which I don't know if I should have done that. It's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because I have a lot to choose from, but bad because my computer is pretty slow. It's an old MacBook from 2011, and uploading that 4K drone footage and rendering it so I could watch it in Premiere, it was taking a really long time. But it's all good. I'll finish it tonight, post it in the morning, and hopefully I'll get a good chunk of today's episode finished so I can post that. So yeah, pretty excited. VidCon, here we go.
It's almost 11 o'clock, so now I'm heading over to room 206 for the speed networking session. I'm ready to meet some new people. Let's do it.
So as you're watching this right now, I'm actually not in California anymore. I'm back home in Florida, and it's about a week and a half from when I actually shot all this footage. But I have all the VidCon footage edited together into this one episode, which is what you're watching right now. But I realized as I was watching it that I didn't do a very good job of explaining my overall opinions and experiences on VidCon, so that's why I wanted to sit down and throughout this episode just cut back to me giving a little bit more structure to this episode and explain my overall thoughts on VidCon. So at this point in the episode, I just got done with the speed networking session, which was a cool idea, but it was a little bit of a disappointment if I'm being honest, and let me explain why. So you first walk into the room and they split everyone into groups. So say my group had 20 people in it. They made that group make 2 circles, an inner circle of 10 people and an outer circle of 10 people. The inner circle was facing outwards and the outward circle was facing inwards. And every 2 minutes a buzzer would go off and that inner circle would rotate. So every 2 minutes you got to meet a new person and collaborate with them, exchange contact information, whatever you wanted to do. And that's a cool idea. But the problem is that way too many people showed up and the room was not big enough for all these people. So it wasn't physically possible to make all these circles that they wanted you to make. So it turned into everyone just talking to whoever they wanted to for however long they wanted to. No one was listening to the buzzer. You had to walk all the way across the room to find someone new to talk to. And everyone was talking super loud. You could barely hear the person you were talking to. So it was just a huge mess. But overall, it was pretty much what I was expecting. There was a bunch of different channels in there, from makeup tutorial channels all the way to prank channels. Some channels I'll never collaborate with, some you never know, so it was good just meeting all these different people and getting their contact information because you never know who you'll collaborate with in the future. So after the speed networking session was over, I headed downstairs to the first floor, which was the community track level, which is the basic $100 ticket, and it was filled up with a bunch of younger kids there to see their favorite YouTube stars, get their autographs, take pictures with them, hang out with friends, play some games. There was a lot of people running around screaming if they saw their favorite YouTubers, and it was just a huge commotion. So I was just down there for a little bit, and this is kind of what it looks like.
So it's a completely different world down here on the first floor. It's the community track mainly. It's like Chuck E. Cheese or a theme park.
So after I was done checking out the first floor, I headed back upstairs for the rest of the day and hung out on the second floor, the creator track level. And I had 2 more panels for the rest of the day. One was with a guy named Clinton Jones, and he has a YouTube channel called Punisher. And he used to make some really awesome content for that channel, but he doesn't really upload to it anymore because he works for a larger channel called Rocket Jump, and I'll talk about them more tomorrow. But overall, his panel was pretty cool because it was just him on it, there was no one else there, and he opened up the whole thing to a Q&A, and he would let you ask questions whenever you wanted to, and he gave really good answers, and he even hung around after the panel was over in the hallway and talked to people one-on-one, and you got to meet him directly, and that was pretty cool because usually you don't get to meet your favorite YouTubers because after their panel's over, they head backstage, you don't really get to talk to them. So then the last panel I went to was a virtual reality panel, and I didn't really understand what they were talking about when I was there, but I thought I would check it out anyway, and that's what I finished off my day with. So overall, VidCon, pretty much what I was expecting. A bunch of little kids running around screaming on the first floor, a lot of commotion. So if you're an older creator and you're thinking about going to VidCon, I would recommend staying away from the first floor as much as you could. I stayed up on the second floor, which was a lot calmer vibe with creators just collaborating with people. And in the third floor, I don't really know what that was all about because I didn't get to go up there, but I'm guessing that it was like producers and people behind channels trying to collaborate as well. So that was my first day of VidCon, and now I'll show you my second day.
Day 2 of VidCon at 12:30. I have a panel I'm going to. It's a visual effects panel with some more of my favorite YouTubers. Freddie and Brandon, who used to do the Freddie W channel, which turned into Rocket Jump. Corridor Digital, Zach King. There's a networking session with Just Filmmakers later, and an interview with Casey Neistat that I'm going to go see. So it's going to be a pretty awesome day.
So I started off my second day of VidCon with a visual effects panel. It was called Making Your Video Look Like $1 Million Without $1 Million. And on that panel were Freddie and Brandon, the 2 guys behind the Freddie W and Rocket Jump channel, Sam and Nico, the 2 guys behind the Corridor Digital channel, and Clinton Jones, the guy behind the Punisher channel. And I showed footage of all their channels earlier in this episode. So I want to start out by talking about the Freddie W channel because they're the first visual effects channel on YouTube that blew up and really paved the way for all these other visual effects channels that came after them. And if you aren't familiar with the Freddie W channel already and you're interested in doing visual effects and short action films, you need to stop this video right now, go type in Rocket Jump on YouTube, and go back to their earliest videos and just start from there. Start from the portal gun video and work your way up and just watch all those videos. But most likely, if you want to do visual effects and short action films, you already know about the Freddie W and Rocket Jump channel. So for about a 2-year period between 2011 and 2013 is when I would say they were in the prime of their channel. They were making one video every single week for 2 years straight. On their channel, they talk about how they did all-nighters every single week for 2 years, and that's insane. And the quality of these videos were amazing, from the sound design to the visual effects to the music to the lighting, everything. It was just those 2 guys mainly doing everything on their own, and they really showed that you could make Hollywood quality content in a very short amount of time with a very limited crew. And that's why the Freddie W channel has always been a huge inspiration of mine, because they showed you don't need a huge Hollywood budget or a crew to make your videos have high quality also. Now also on that panel were Sam and Nico, the 2 guys behind the Corridor Digital channel. They didn't get as big as Rocket Jump. They have about 4 million subscribers on YouTube, and Rocket Jump has about about 8 million subscribers. But their videos are pretty similar to the ones that Rocket Jump makes. They're actually all friends and they used to live in the same building together and help out on each other's videos. So they're also a good channel to check out if you're interested in doing any kinds of visual effects videos. And then the last person on that panel was Clinton Jones, the guy behind the Punisher channel. And I talked about his channel a little bit earlier, but his channel has about 300,000 subscribers and he started working for Rocket Jump, so he stopped uploading to his own channel. That's why it never grew as big as Rocket Jump or Corridor Digital. But I'm sure if he kept making his own content, he could have easily had a few million subscribers on YouTube. So overall, I enjoyed the visual effects panel. They talked about some really interesting topics and gave some good advice. But these are all guys who have had YouTube channels for over 5 years, and honestly, they were pretty much saying the same exact stuff I've already heard them say over and over again on their YouTube channels throughout the years. And I don't think you really need to pay to go to VidCon if you're looking to go to a panel for one of your YouTubers that you look up to and want to hear them give some advice, because you can most likely find it for free already on their YouTube channel. But the cool thing about the panels is that sometimes there's a Q&A at the end and you get that chance to ask them a specific question directly. So after the visual effects panel got over, I went to a filmmaker networking session, which was a networking session for just filmmakers, and I liked this a lot more than the speed networking session on the first day. The environment was a lot calmer, you were able to talk to people for longer and connect with them better, and I actually met some people interested in making the same exact kind of content that I want to make for my channel. And that's the main reason why I went all the way out to VidCon in the first place, because it does a good job of bringing all these different creators together that are interested in making the same kind of content, and it can be a little bit difficult finding those kinds of people living here in Florida. So the last thing I went to for that day was an interview with Casey Neistat, but he had a longer interview on the last day of VidCon, so I'll talk more about him in a little bit. But so that's it for my second day, and now here's my very last day of VidCon.
Today's the final day of VidCon. I just saw Devin Supertramp give an interview. It was down here on the first floor, which is mainly a lot of kids and fidget spinners from what I've been seeing. So, see. My next thing is at 2 o'clock. It's about brands and how to get brand deals. So I'm just going to edit until it's time for that. Alright, so this episode's almost 14 minutes long now, so I'm going to try to hurry and wrap this up. So my last day of VidCon was filled up with panels and interviews of creators giving advice and talking about stuff like how they got started on YouTube. So as much as I enjoyed seeing my favorite YouTubers in person, I wasn't there to get their autograph or take pictures with them. I kind of wanted to hear them say something new that I haven't heard them already say before on their YouTube channels, so that was a little bit of a disappointment. Some other panels that I went to that were pretty cool were the ones that had executives from like YouTube or DJI or Hasbro. It was people that work with these companies directly, and they were giving advice to creators on how to work with them and what they look for in creators to get brand deals and stuff like that. That's information that I feel like you can't find online, and it's only information that you'll be able to get from them directly by going to VidCon. So overall, would I go to VidCon again? I definitely would never go for the community level badge. That's just a bunch of little kids running around and freaking out on the first floor. I probably wouldn't even go for the creator badge again, because after seeing what that has to offer, I don't think it's worth the money. But there is a third badge. It's called the industry level badge. It's the most expensive one that you can get. It's $750, and it's more for the people that are already established in the industry that have larger YouTube channels, or maybe they're producers and they're looking to collaborate with people. So maybe in a few years after my YouTube channels grow a little bit more, I'll get that badge and I'll go check that out and see what that has to offer. Also, parking was $15 a day. That was $45 for the 3 days of VidCon. What's up with that, VidCon? Well, anyway, that's it for today's episode. Sorry if I talk too fast or if this video was kind of long or kind of boring, but I guess it wasn't that boring since you're still here watching it. So if you are still here watching it,
Thank you, and like and subscribe for another episode, and I'll see you all on the next one. See ya. Fucking moths.